Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I didn't start on time. I hope you can hear me okay. Somehow I managed to. I use the DJI wireless microphone, and somehow I managed to factory reset it. Ran it without even knowing. I got to the factory reset screen and then I didn't know how to get out of the factory reset screen, so I ended up. So I don't know. Hopefully the audio sounds okay. Let me know if it's loud and I can adjust it. Okay, so we've got some things to talk about tonight. We're going to get to Timville's 4dapter. That's what we're going to build tonight. But I figured that we could talk about it first. Let's go to. Hold on, I don't have a good scene. Let's create a scene in. Where's my OBS? I gotta create a new scene in OBS. Let's see. How do I get to. Sorry, I'm kind of putzing around. All right, I've got. What does this scene do? Literally nothing. Okay. Okay, then maybe I'll take that scene. Oh, there isn't. Okay, well. I guess. Hold on a minute, I'm sorry. All right, so that's not good. Let's just, we'll go to this. But then instead of me being big, let's make me, I don't know if I like that. Alt. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's not really what I wanted to do. Hi, Showman Produces. I can talk about RetroGem, yes. So, is it finished? Kind of. Hey, Belmont. I'm super struggling right now to. I want to put like me in a little box. Yep. No, I don't know. Yep, good enough. And then make me tiny. And then make this part big. Actually, how do you make it bigger? Oh, undo? Yeah. Okay, I think that's good. Something like that. And then I can. Ah! Wrong one. This. Okay, so I know I just said I wanted. I'll talk about the Timville adapter thing in a second. Let's see. Where am I with the gem? So the video output is fine. I tried putting it back together. You can see it in the background here. I tried putting the case back together. I probably should have tested it better, because what's weird is you guys saw it on stream. We got far enough to the point where we booted the game, booted the console. We got into the OSD, and I was getting. Well, I ended up I have all the hearts now, so in a colorful screen. So I actually put a disc in. So I have a couple of PS2 games. So I put in a game, and while the game, it was Dynasty Warriors. So while the Dynasty Warriors intro was running, I was able to pass the self-test with all hearts. Now the weird thing is, I think that there is a problem somewhere with the controller, either the flex cable wiring, because there is a little secondary flex cable that we had to solder the first day. Maybe that has a short or something, because what's weird, it doesn't affect every single key or button press. So, for example, obviously I was able to get in the OSD. Why can't I attach this where I want to attach this? Okay. I wanted to, okay. I don't know how to attach comments. Oh, here we go. I was able to open the OSD, but the input seems erratic, and it doesn't matter what controller that I try. So I have an original controller. I have I was using the Blue Retro or something. I have the 8-bit Do PS2 wireless dongle. Same thing was happening for both. Basically, I couldn't do any directional input, which is weird because one of the directional commands is right D-pad to open up the OSD. So I don't think I don't know. Maybe it's shorting enough where like it thinks like all the buttons are pressed down, and that way it opens the OSD. So what I need to do is, unfortunately, take it all back apart again, down to the part where we were before. But and then I don't know. I might, step one is to reflow the part that we soldered to the controller port flex cable connector there. That's where we soldered the other flex cable to on the other side. So I guess I can check for bridges there. The other alternative, you can bypass using that little tiny controller flex cable and just hard wire the wires, or there's some pads, the alternate pads on the board. So I can try that. But so right now I can't really play any games. The console looks fine, like all the colors look fine. The intro screen runs fine. I had it running for a while, so I don't, I hope, knock on wood, that my video soldering is good. Had a huge W today. Swapped SWRAM. I saw that tweet for Super Nintendo today, and good to go. Just ordered all the parts for Open Nintendo. Nice. So you had a problem with your Super Nintendo that you knew you could solve by swapping the SWRAM, I guess. So that's where we're at with the PS2. I'm gonna do all that stuff offline. Just strip it down to where we were in the beginning. Look at the wire. Look at the controller cable wiring there, and see if anything's sus. And then I don't know. Slowly try to put it back together again. It seems like it fits in the case. Oh, I guess I can also talk quickly. I know I want to move on to the Timville thing, but I wanted to address the. If you follow Mr. Mario on Twitter, Mr. Mario knows somebody who made a video that there's a fatal flaw with the PS2 gem, the one that I did, basically. It's the one in the fat PS2 consoles. And you guys saw it, basically. Well, maybe I didn't do a great enough job because I didn't end up putting it back together on stream, but I kept stressing, like, hey, the connector, those 4 pins or 5 pins or whatever that connect the power supply to the rest of the PS2, while you're building it, that stuff's all exposed. And what you're supposed to do is cut back the pins that stick out of the PS2 motherboard. You're supposed to cut those back so that they fall underneath the connector, the plastic connector of the power supply once it's back in. Because when you mount the gem board, it literally, and you have like millimeters of clearance, probably like less than 1/4 of an inch, I think, between. Well, maybe it's maybe a 1/4 inch. That's like giving. I think that's probably too much. It's more like a couple millimeters of clearance between the top of the gem and the top of that plastic cover. Well, I guess technically it's like right at the line, right at the same height as those pins were by default. So that person was saying that that's a fatal flaw because it could short. I didn't actually watch the video. I probably should have. I apologize for that. Maybe there's some other conclusion in there, but it sounded like they were talking about those pins being too close to the gem board. I guess, because I cut the pins back, I didn't really think about that. I mean, obviously you think about it when you're assembling it and when you're testing the console, you have to be aware of that. So if I guess that is a flaw, right? If you're not careful, you can really hurt yourself by touching the live wires inside the PS2. But if you do that step of cutting the pins below the plastic, there's really no way, even if you smashed something, if you I don't know why you would do this, but you installed your gem and then started hitting the gem board onto the power supply, I don't know what you expect is going to happen other than you're going to break the gem before you're going to make it, I feel, before you're going to make cause a short in the power supply. But it's possible for sure. But you'd have to really try. If you install it correctly, the way that Dan has it set up, I don't feel it's dangerous, personally. Unless there is some sort of like weird electrical issue with the gem board being that close. Like maybe there's some kind of EMF or something that's causing some interference with the gem board that's right close to the power supply. That's the only thing I can think of that might happen. But there's no touching if you cut the pins back. It doesn't touch. But again, that's my opinion. I don't know. I didn't design the console. I didn't design the thing. And also the other thing is too, as you're putting it back together, pretty much the last thing that ever gets exposed after you try to take the console out, because just the way that the screws go into the PS2, the last thing that you're going to see after you disassemble the console is the power supply side. So for most of you putting it back together, like toward the you putting it back together part, the power supply is already not exposed anymore. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. I believe your words were use common sense and be careful. Yeah, I watched someone worried about the HDMI port being pushed in and hitting the fuse. So the other thing is, I think there's multiple revisions of the power supply, and this is the area, I suppose. I mean, this top part is the area of the power supply, right? This is like the plain, well, I don't know, actually, this is the plug. So the power supply stuff is kind of here above, or yeah, from this orientation, it's above the gem. Well, as you're assembling it and you use the 3D printed piece, the 3D printed piece is up at the top here. Also, I busted, for some reason, I destroyed the shroud, the little gap around the metal. The port is fine. It's just the plastic or edging around it was brittle and it broke apart. So this also manifested as the issues of my PS2 manifested with me not being able to load games through OPL. But thankfully, I have some PlayStation 2 discs, and the discs load fine. So I think it is something to do with either maybe the controller, like the memory cards and the controllers. These are all connected to the PS2 with a single flex cable. It's like a short thing that goes into the motherboard. So either I damaged the flex cable, I damaged a port in here maybe, and it's shorting always or something. So it could be any number of things, and I don't really know how to. It's beyond the gem, I suppose, is the problem, that as far as I know, unless it has to do with the bridging of the pins there. So start that sentence with I busted. Yeah. I busted it, yeah. I mean, you could, I don't know. It's like the guy that buys the iPhone and then immediately smashes it on the ground. Like, I don't know what to, it's brittle, it's plastic. It's not, I don't think that Pixel Effects uses PLA. I think they do use either PETG or ABS. I'm not saying that makes it more durable, but I don't know. I'm not super concerned. It seemed very solid. But again, that's just my opinion. All right, let's quickly go over to our other guy. So, all right, so let's talk about the triple controller first. So I randomly found this, and this is actually, so this is a triple controller. It doesn't have any labeling or anything on it. It is a cool purple, like I don't know, shiny filament. This is one I actually bought from Tindy. So it's a Damon Byte adapter. It uses the Damon Byte firmware, and I thought I remembered once upon a time that Damon, the guy who made Damon Byte, didn't like other people calling their adapters Damon Byte also. So this is Damon Byte compatible because it uses the firmware, I believe. But as far as what this is actually, it's a controller, like the triple controller is Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and NES to USB controller adapter. So you can either use any of those controllers with a computer or Raspberry Pi. Mister works really well. And it's relatively low cost. However, I'm not going to show you the triple controller today. We're going to move on to the successor to this, as far as I think that's what's going to happen, which is the 4dapter. So the 4dapter is basically the same thing. So it runs off of an Arduino, but the 4dapter has an N64 controller port, which I don't have. I don't have all the stuff needed to run the N64 core on Mister. I think you need dual RAM, something like that. I need to look into how to run the Mister core, but I think that would be a prime candidate to test with the 4dapter because it has the N64 controller port. So but we're not there yet. I gotta assemble them first. So tonight we're gonna build two 4dapters. I kind of already started building one, so I kind of know some pitfalls. I'll explain it a little bit more. But before I go over to the bench, there's a couple of ways you can actually buy it. And as you can see, it doesn't really help you. As you can see, a fully assembled one that includes the Arduino and it's like basically fully assembled and ready to go is $40. However, it gets real juicy when you buy a DIY kit. So it's only $12 for the PCB, all the controller connectors, and there's a couple of, you'll see some small components down here. So those all come in this $12 kit. It doesn't include the case, the case so you can 3D print your own, and it doesn't include the Arduino. I bought my Arduinos on AliExpress. They're clone Arduino micros, Pro micros I think they're called. Then have USB ports. So it's kind of USB Type-C ports. So it's nice. It's got a Type-C port. And all in, if you have your own case, or if you have your own printer and you can make your own case, and let's say an Arduino is $10 or something, you're looking at like $20, $22, plus shipping, for one of these. So I don't know. They're kind of handy. So let's go over to the bench, and I'll show you the little parts. It shouldn't take that long, hopefully. Yeah, we can get working. Oh God, Mister, no! Wow, I did not. Well, I need to pop up the chat while you're here first. Then I need to turn. Now I'm gonna leave Mister on, but I want. Oh, okay, this switched automatically. Look at that. Yeah, make sure to yell at me too if the capture flickers. I did do a thing, and I swapped from using the AverMedia card to going. I went back to my Magewell card for the camera. Oh, I just saw it. Did it go black? Oh no, that was Mister. I was watching the old recording. So I don't know. I hope that makes the stream more stable. I don't know what I'm going to do if it's stable with the Magewell and not with the AverMedia card. I don't know, because the AverMedia card is more expensive and supposed to be better. So okay, so let's. I'm going to take apart this one that I did already. Or I did some of it already. Because I want to finish it along with the other one. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, the proper Torx bit. The screws didn't come with it either. I just had some. I believe these are These are M2, but they're like coarse threaded, kind of self-tapping screws, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I don't know. I have a bunch of these. That's an M2 by 12 maybe. So I just want to get this one apart. So that's the other thing. I guess you usually use screws, but screws, honestly, if you do enough projects like this, you probably should have, like, I don't know, at least machine screws in M2, M3, and M4 size, and then some like coarse threaded screws again in those sizes, and then in some like common lengths Just get like a combo pack on Amazon or something. Okay. All right, so I only added the ports. I was kind of bored one day, and I was testing the case to see how well the case fit. So that's that one. All right, so there's that. Here's basically the same thing, but for the other board. Let's put that aside, though. I want to finish soldering this one while I'm here, and that means I've just got parts everywhere. Oh, I wanted to mention a couple of other things, I suppose. I don't know. I think you guys should be able to see a member icon. It's going. Rambro, how you doing? Just started. Just kind of started talking about things. I don't know. Actually, let me see. Do you guys see a member join icon or something? I can't see it on my view. Oh, I do see join, but it's grayed out. Somebody let me know if you see join there, because that means I enabled memberships, but I kind of did it today, so I don't know how long it takes to set up. So a couple of things. I've always hated thinking about monetization and things, and like I don't really have aspirations that this is going to be like my career, at least not right now. I mean, maybe some year in the future, but right now I don't really see it happening. However, I do need a little bit amount of income to pay for mods and things. Really, that's the only thing I need, or tools or whatever. Anyway, so I had an email. I'm gonna solder. Actually, did I not take everything out? I had an email a couple weeks ago from YouTube that said if I enabled memberships on my channel, they would give me $500. And then if I could get 30 members by, I think it was like November 15th, so it was like the middle of November. I'm just gonna put this switch in. I think it was the middle of November. If I get 30 memberships, they would give me an additional $500. So if you're interested and you see a join button, whoa, Belmont, welcome to Composite. Nice. Well, anyways, so I made the only one tier for now. It's only $2. If you're curious, if you're interested in helping me, just to kind of keep a little bit of money flowing for stuff like this or whatever. Yeah, I'd be really appreciate it. And I'm working on making my own little. I just turned my iron on. I'm making some emotes. So if you guys have any cringe ideas or not cringe ideas or whatever for emotes that you'd like to see, otherwise I have a couple of ideas of my own. So I just have been lazy about busting out Photoshop and actually making them. Okay, so I'm just soldering a button. We'll go over kind of everything. Actually, I guess I kind of did this one kind of ass backwards a little bit. Normally when you work on populating things, you really should work from shortest to tallest. Because if you have a tall component or a short component and you put a tall component in, one of the better ways to keep a component straight and flat as you're trying to solder it into your PCB is to just lay it down against the ground, like flip your part over. You know what I mean? So like you're soldering on the backside. Anyways, you can use the even pressure of however it goes to keep it straight. So I kind of didn't do that for this one, the first one I made. So I'll fix that for the second one, but I just want to, yeah, I guess I just wanted to let you know that. So the next thing is these little, see like this would have been great for, I should have done this first. These are long, what are these called? Pin headers. Now we've got to worry about them being all cattywampus. And see, it's just gonna fall out. So in times like this, what I do, just get some solder on there already on the iron. And then put a little bit on. It doesn't really matter the orientation in the beginning. Just put enough Oh, really? Not enough, huh? Oh, okay. Just get enough where you can then straighten out the part if you need to. Looks like I will have to do that again. Okay. Huh. Okay. All right, so let's start the other side. It's gonna be a lot of this. I might actually make it to do the other one. I didn't really think about that. This might take longer than I thought. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I stop and do the? Maybe after I solder this, I'll switch and just try to get one finished today. This is like kind of trying to start in the middle of the process. Suppose if I want to do this faster, I could have busted out a knife edge tip or something, but ain't nobody got time for that. Actually, I do have time for that because it's very easy to switch out the soldering iron, but okay, fine. We'll leave this one for later. Let's populate this second, second, I guess, actually. Second board. And I'll kind of tell you, yep, going from the smallest to tallest, made populating the super gun. Yeah, super gun, especially with the super gun, is a lot of parts, and it's a mixture of SMD and through hole, and yeah. Okay, so we can start that now. I don't know if these... What's the shortest component? I can't get confused because those are for that. This bag is the new thing. Okay. All right, so I suppose this is probably the shortest. Or is it the pin header? Wait a minute. I guess the pin header is pretty short. I'm probably going to just ruin this like right away. Okay, maybe this transistor or whatever this is. Is it the shortest? Oh, they like the same height. And then what about the pin header? The problem is you don't solder the pin header like this. You need to solder it onto this first. So the last thing you do is solder it down in here. So never mind, take that out. All right, so I'm gonna do these things. I don't know what this part is. But and so then to keep it in place until you're ready to solder it, you do one of those. And then I'll do what I was talking about. Kind of, you push down on the part, and then it should kind of help to keep the part level on the other side. But you know, you can always do just one, and then make sure you don't touch anything that's metal. That's fine. Piece is fine, but you can always touch it up afterwards, I guess. All right. I played Super Mario Wonder today for the first time. Anybody played that? It's pretty fun. Kind of different from I didn't really like the like new Super Mario Brothers style games, but the crystal and the bomb for Open Tenno didn't work. Yeah, you have to use the stock one. Yep. Yeah, don't even bother buying it. Oh, I need my my Nipex. All right, now for these things in here, caps, I guess. Okay. I don't know if this really is going to help, but maybe it will. Well, the other thing is too. Oh, let's see. I've heard good things about the new Mario. Yeah, it's all right. You know, I have been trying extremely hard to sort of introduce my son to, I guess, just my son doesn't like. He likes playing video games a lot, but he only likes playing specific games. Okay, he kind of likes simulator games. Like he likes BeamNG, which is this like racing simulator, because it has really cool crash physics and things. Just trying to see what's next in the height hierarchy. Oh yeah, this is way taller. But every time I try to get him to play an old game, a retro game, he just doesn't want anything to do with it. So I was hoping that Wonder might, and it's cool that the newer games, like if you remember, you know, trying to play with anyone, you know, let alone a younger person, but trying to play with anybody, multiplayer retro games, it's usually like one player goes and then the other player goes. Like both players aren't playing at the same time. And Wonder has this okay, I guess, 2-player mode. I always wonder, so like two people can be in the same level, I guess, at the same time. But you know, it's always like me running off the screen, and then he just dies or whatever in the back, like later, or he doesn't keep up and like ends up getting just destroyed or something. So it's kind of like, why? I don't know why. I guess if you have competent players or like people that have been playing games for a while, they would understand it and be okay together. But for somebody who is almost brand new to platformers, yeah, it's hard. So, anyways, that was my scheme. Part of my scheme. And it kind of failed. Anyways, I thought I was going to like the Analog Pocket more than I do. I don't not like it. The problem is that right now I really want to play Pokemon, and unless you own the Pokemon cartridges, I don't feel like the Open FPGA cores is the way to go. Obviously, I mentioned last week that one of my save files got deleted. Well, I'm gonna boot up my my soldering thing here. Yeah, one of my save files got deleted after 15 hours, so that sucked. And then the real-time clock doesn't work for games like Gold and Silver, which use the real-time clock. So I ended up just going to a real Game Boy and playing my EverDrive on a real Game Boy instead of using the Pocket. But what I think I would like to try is making repros of all the Pokemon games. I feel like that would be a good way around, good workaround, right? Because you should, in theory, be able to use the normal Pocket core, right? Because it's a singular cartridge, and you get all the normal Analog Pocket core stuff, like the guess there's some kind of display mode stuff like scan lines or stuff, or it works better with the dock. Love my pocket. Just got it the other day, and I use your save. Well, yeah. So the other thing too is I've just been kind of lazy about putting ROM. Oh no! Look at how off that is. Well, no, that's not good. I might have to fix this one. Shoot, that was dumb. All right, desoldering iron, go. So not only do you have to worry about it being up and down, but you also have to worry about it being left and right. That was stupid. Well, while we wait for the desoldering iron to heat up. So I've been looking into possibly building or producing. When I say producing, I mean getting the PCBs and then hand building HDRs. There's some reproduction Game Boy Color cartridge project that he has, or they have. So I think that, and it supports real-time clock, which is sweet. So in my opinion, that is, that should be a good setup for doing all the Game Boy and Game Boy Color Pokemon games, and then you can just kind of play them in anything. If you've got a Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, the Analog Pocket, anything like that, you can play your one save file, and it should be high quality, right? And new components and things. So I don't know, just something I was thinking about, because if I had the carts, which I don't have the real carts, I don't know if I would have that. I would have had that problem or not. I don't know. So, kind of bummed that EverDrives don't. I don't know. They don't count. Like the Analog Pocket knows that it's a flash cart and it won't give you the features somehow. I don't know. Putting the Arduino in, yeah, it probably would be a good idea. Yep. So yeah, that's a good idea. Let me populate. Huh? Oh, maybe I used some of it. I've got to get the another piece of. Actually, maybe I can get lucky and just have a really terribly lined up one. I don't know. I'll have to see. All right, got a bunch of pin header. How many of this? How much of this do I need? It would kind of work. Should I just leave it? Oh, man, yikes. Don't tell anyone. Oh, man, it would work if I, Actually, what would this be like in the case? That's the other thing you should do. As you're assembling it, you should probably put it into the case once in a while to make sure that what you're doing is going to line up with the actual case. So, yeah, if I just solder it like this, I think that would be fine. Because this Arduino is just going to live in here afterwards, so cool. Let's solder this out of the pins. Also, I think somebody keeps commenting that I don't ever use flux, which I use flux. I try to use flux, like if I'm touching up a pin that already has solder on it, that is usually when I add flux. But I hope everyone understands that. Actually, let me check this again. I hope everyone understands that flux. I'm not trying to sound like condescending or something, but there's flux inside of your solder. That's what flux core, rosin core means. So, yeah, I don't know. Just something I thought about. So that's actually the part that is burning off when you solder. is the flux, not. I don't think any part of the solder is getting into the air. That's actually also the bad part to breathe. That's the reason you should have a fume extractor is the flux. But yeah, probably does. The lead probably does get airborne to some extent, but I don't know. All right, Arduino. Let me take it back out now because won't need that till later and it'll get in the way of the other parts. Hey, Zaxor, the solder is rosin core. It has flux in it. Yep. When I'm doing through-hole stuff, power supplies, etc., I typically don't add any flux either. Only if I see that the solder isn't forming a good fillet. Yep. Oh, is there an echo somehow? It could be... There shouldn't be. Sorry, is there still an echo? Oh, how about now? The mage well. Okay, how about now, Belmont? You might have been hearing the audio from the camera. So let me know if that fixed it. Oh, sorry, that was not Belmont. That was Bartleby. Let me know, Bartleby. Okay. Now we can move on to probably the controller ports, but which one? This one? So that's the Genesis one. The Genesis goes out the front, or out the side here. The NES one goes over here. It's got these big honkin', oops. It's got these big beefy plastic nubs to keep it really, oh, I have hiccups now. Hold on, I get some drink of water. Okay, great. Yeah, so it's looking probably like the Genesis because the N64, we got to build this little adapter thing first. So I guess we could do that. All right, let's solder the N64 thing on here first. I did this out of order on my personal build. And I think I put this part in first, and then I tried to solder this part to this part without it. Just I ended up melting there's like a plastic kind of shroud around the pins. I ended up melting that on the other one. So I feel like the best way is to assemble this part first, because then this will be flat. Yeah. And these might take some heat. Okay. Also important, if you are soldering anything that's large, a large leg of something, or a ground plane, I guess, it's going to require more heat to heat the solder evenly, obviously, but it will also take longer to cool down. So, I mean, I think people learn that pretty early. It could be frustrating to assemble certain things if you don't wait for it to cool down first, because it doesn't actually get a chance to solidify before it moves. Okay. I didn't watch if there was a video or something. There might be a video about how to assemble this. Didn't even look. Wow, see that? This flex was evaporating already. Okay. All right, I think that's fine. Now I've got to do this part, which is... Actually, I don't know. I think the way it was designed is you solder this part onto this first so that it's flush with the back. Oh, sorry about the focus. So that it's flush like this and straight. Why is it not focusing? Okay, I'll show you what I mean in a second. Might be difficult to achieve it, but I guess I'll repeat it if people weren't here before. Hey, thanks, Bartleby. Welcome. Your camera capture has been much better tonight. Yes, I switched my camera going into my Magewell instead of the AverMedia card, because the AverMedia card is what I was plugged into before. So I don't like that. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to fix something. The AverMedia card is supposed to be better, and it would be useful if I had, like, when I get the RetroSync 4K, because I'll be able to do 4K captures. So. All right, so I'll repeat it again, and thanks again, Bartleby. YouTube sent me an email saying that if I sign up for channel memberships, which is like Patreon kind of built into YouTube, that they would give me $500, like a $500 sign-up bonus. And then if I was able to get 30 memberships by November 15th, that they would give me another $500. So, if you're considering whether or not you want to support me, just know that in addition to your $2, because I only have one tier right now, just to see how things are going. If you want to support me, now would be a good time, because hopefully we can get to those 30 memberships. But, oh man, it's all out of whack. See, this is the problem now. It's all not straight and things. So let's see how we did on this part. Yeah, I mean, it's probably fine. It just looks like it should be. Okay, well. Let's solder the Genesis port. What I would like to do with memberships, I guess it would be kind of neat to do like member-only streams, although, that depends on if people are, if I'm going to have any kind of amount of people, but I don't know. I'm kind of thinking, I'm open to ideas for things that you would like me to talk about, or do streams on, or for sort of opportunities to get you guys involved. Maybe like I don't know, like inviting other people on, or interviewing members or something. I don't know. The other alternative could be something like I don't know. I don't love this idea, but maybe I could do some. I was thinking of doing like some clips of my streams, like going back and editing it, which, you know, it's getting back into making YouTube video territory, which doesn't, I don't know, making YouTube video territory. I mean, this is the whole reason I started streaming, is because I'd rather spend the time doing the thing that I like to do and not the thing that I don't like to do, which is making videos and YouTube. All the other administrative things, whereas I really like to do this kind of stuff, build things. So, don't know. So I could have like clips of past live streams or something that only members could see and get access to. Is this part taller than this part? Yeah. Oh, come on. Do 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 do. I don't think this is supposed to be flat. Okay, Super Nintendo ports are kind of difficult because they're just unforgiving. It's a bigger connector, and all right, so now I have to kind of line the port up. So that the front of the port, also you probably, for things like the Genesis port and the NES port, you probably don't need to do this. However, if you wanted to, and this is potentially dangerous to whatever you put in there, not dangerous per se, but you could melt the pins. Where's my thing? I'll put it over here. Just get a just get a Super Nintendo thing and put it in there so that you keep these pins lined up where the controller would mate to a real controller. That gives you a better connection when you plug stuff in. Let's test again. Okay, so that looks fine. That's the other thing you need to do, is put it in the shell. Here I think I'm 2 up. So what I need to do is, I don't know how could you do that better though? Let's see. Huh. Let's try that in this. Okay, so this is how it needs to be. How did I do it? Oh, see? This is my other one that I did, and I kind of made the port flat to the front. Got it. Okay. Ooh, I did get my, I haven't tried it out yet, but I got this, I got this really, I really like the the way the container looks, but I got some Gootwick, which is this really nice looking Japanese desoldering braid. So let's try it out. Nice. Works good. All right, so now it's going to be kind of difficult to like, oh wait, that was it. Okay, so it's just a matter of like, you kind of like roll it in. So like, get the edge, this bottom edge underneath the PCB, and then sort of like roll it in the holes. You know what I mean? Like in here, and push down, and then it will be level here. You can't really see, this first corner that you can see is not the bottom. You got to look like deep in there, and then you can see it. So that should be it. And that, if you don't do that, then otherwise it may not fit in the case. So. Gootwick is the best braid I've ever used. Yeah, I think it was you or someone else mentioned that. This other stuff I bought, this Towa, I don't know, whatever, Towit. It was alright. It was fine. It actually kind of looks more like the Gootwick than the MG or the Chemtronics braid that I used to use. But again, I was using that other Chemtronics braid for a really long time, so it's possible that that was just an old, I don't know. Not sure. Okay. Last but not least. Oh wait, no, there's two more things. The NES controller and the N64 controller. So let's get this bad boy in there. For hopefully the last time. Let's actually just check it in the shell. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. Oh yeah, even the Arduino. All right, cool. So let's get the NES connector soldered. All right, that's the NES controller port. Now the N64 controller port thing, which should just be a matter of lining it up to that line here and making it straight. Although, now that I look at this, it does kind of look sus. But like this doesn't make a good connection here. What did I do for this one? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the same thing. What I think I want to do instead is, I don't know how the heck I'm going to do this. Let's see. Is this going to work? Oh, is this my bigger? I don't need this nozzle. I'm going to try to desolder that with the desoldering gun, but I might melt the N64 controller. All right, let's see if I can do this without, oh, well, rip. Can I do this without melting the N64 port? Jeez, really? Oh my God. Okay, well, I forgot. I took the air conditioner out of my, my window the other day, which is behind my bench here, and I forgot to plug my desoldering iron back in, so it's been just unplugged for the whole time. Whatever flux they put in the Gootwick is too powerful. I remember struggling with my first OG Xbox recap, and that Gootwick cleared the PTHs without issue. Yep. Nice, Sith Warrior. Join the, you know, okay, so I guess we can talk about alternatives to this. It really depends. I definitely think that snack. I don't have a snack setup. Unfortunately, I wish I had some snack adapters. Snack spelled SNAC for the Mister. Snack it uses HDMI ports, or cables and connectors and things, but it is not a digital. It's for the controllers. It's like a low latency controller protocol that allows you to connect with real controllers to a Mister. However, I think that snack is kind of expensive per connector, which is fine if you know, if you've only got, oh my God, I think this pin header is foobar. But the interesting thing about snack, so you can use snack with little adapters right into the base Mister, I think. But also, Mister Add-ons has designed the Reflex Adapt. It's called, I think. Is it Reflex Adapt? I don't know. He's got this standalone snack to USB controller adapter, so it's kind of like this. Right, so you have to have the snack adapters in the first place. So a snack adapter would be, on one end it would have a console plug, so you could plug a controller into it, but on the other end it would have an HDMI port. And then this Reflex Adapt just has a bunch of HDMI port things. And then you can connect that to anything, whether it's Mister or Raspberry Pi. It's sort of similar to this. I think it also probably would work with the Switch. So that's another alternative. Other alternatives? I don't know. Does anybody have any other USB to? Actually, once upon a time I used to have the RAFnet. I have some still. Those are old school. I've had those for a long time. USB to controller things. What is going on now? Is this not going to come out? Oh, I feel like it wants to. Okay. Right. Back to the drawing board. I think I want to add, I don't know. Something needs to be bent. maybe I can make this thing bent a little bit. So that like if I pre-bend this a little bit, that would cause this to be downward. This is probably the most annoying part about this, and this was not on the triple controller. So if you don't need this, I don't know. I think Timville is probably still selling them on Tindy, the triple controller. If you don't need N64, then maybe go with that. What is going on with this? All the pins are not lined up anymore. Okay. So I gotta solder it at like an angle. Oh my gosh, I should just do this, huh? All right, let's try it. Let's do one. Okay. All right, so I got a little bend to this. So if I put this in here now. Come on. Ugh. Yeah. If I put that like that, then that's fine. And I know you guys were like, what the hell is he talking about? Just let me do my thing. It's kind of difficult to tell what I'm doing unless you've got one of these, so. And it's hard to visualize, like for me to show you what I'm doing. Okay, because it's very small differences here. Okay, so now this part is all soldered. Now I should just be able to hook this up to here. And then kind of nudge it. Let's see. Oh no, down is fine. Yeah. So kind of get it in position in the case, and then hopefully it stays there, kind of. And then solder it. Okay, now before we do the other ones, let's just double check. Yeah, that's fine. All right. All right. I think that's all the soldering. And I think if we wanted to, we could put it into the case now, because I think we can flash it. We're gonna have to flash this Arduino, but I think that we can do that with all the components plugged in. I don't think we need to remove the Arduino. So let's put it together. I got this nice. I just want to make sure I have both of the same pieces. I originally printed this in ASA, so I've got some ASA, an ASA shell. However, one of the problems is that the black that I ordered is not really black. So I have some black ABS, and you can see that the black come on. The black ABS is, oh, actually, you know what? I have they're mixed and matched. Wait a minute. You'll know what I'm talking about in a second. Okay. So on the left is the ASA, and on the right is the ABS. So the ASA was just not black enough for me. So I got some ABS going on. All right, so let's assemble this, and then we can go and flash it on the computer, and then we can test it. Okay, so first part, and then second part. And then, like I said, if you buy the DIY kit, you're also going to need screws. These are M2 coarse thread screws. I think this is M2 by 12, probably. Yeah. All right. Just kind of going around the edge to make sure everything lines up. I also, this 4dapter shell, I don't know if the triple controller was, but the 4dapter case was designed by Dinerto, I think. So they have also worked on I think they've worked on a bunch of cases for things. I don't know any except for one off the top of my head. I printed this slot cover. It kind of looks like a really tiny Game Boy Advance cart. So that is also from Dinerto on Printables, I think, is where I got the STL. I do, I might try to harass Reventlow to see if he would let me print one of his P-Wing grips in ABS, because that would make this purple look, I mean, it looks, if you add purple to this atomic purple, it looks good. So yeah. Anyways, it amazes me, and I'm kind of grateful that the retro scene. There's a lot of ways you can get involved if you're really interested in making, or sort of making a name for yourself, or I don't know, if you're interested in social media and stuff like that. There are a lot of ways that you can get involved in retro. You can do case design stuff, which is pretty much, hands off as far as like you don't really need to talk with other people. You kind of just do it on your own, and then when it's finished, you can drop it. And then if it's a good enough idea, it usually gets spread pretty easily. So that's cool. Or you can design PCBs or whatever. So there's a lot of things that you can do, and a lot of ways to get involved. So, okay, so we've got this assembled. You also might notice that the ABS leaves these like stress marks. I've talked about this before. See how it's kind of white? What I do to alleviate that, and I could do this now and only now because it's screwed together. Otherwise, I'd be worried it might warp a little bit. But I have my heat gun. My desoldering hot air rework station, I guess, to set to 180 Celsius. And let me see if I can get a good angle. It's kind of hard to show you and do it at the same time. Is it working? I can't really. It's working. It's just hard for me to do this. And then, plus it's kind of glossy. I mean, not like the filament is glossy, but it's definitely difficult to see where the white is because it reflects off of the everything. This is Polymaker ABS. and it's a little bit glossy. Well, I can't really, it wasn't that bad on this. Oh, it's worse on this part. So like if you look in the top corner here, you can see a bunch of white. And watch what happens when I hit it with the heat gun. The other thing you can do to get rid of the stress if you print ABS like this is after the print is done, before you take it off, or I guess you could take it off the print bed, but then you like leave it on there and set the temperature to preheat that, like you're going to print ABS, and just leave the part on there longer, like 5-10 minutes or something. And usually that also will do the same thing, although you have to worry about warping a little. Okay, this is sort of it's hard for me to capture. I'll do it later, but you get the idea. That's what I have to do usually on every single ABS thing to get all those stress marks off. Just interesting. You can use it on Mister. Oh, this is for Mister. Yeah, it can be for Mister. Yep, that's one of the a good use case for it. But also you could use it with a Raspberry Pi, like a RetroPie setup or something, or with a PC, or I don't know if it works with the Switch. That would be something to test. So it may work for like your Nintendo Switch Online games if you don't care about wireless. So, all right, I'm gonna hop over to the computer after I cut this stupid part off, and let's figure out how to flash this. All right, we got 40 minutes to learn how to flash this. Okay. All right. Let's go to the GitHub. Yep, see here's where it says Denierto Design. So this is the separate GitHub, or actually the cases in the 4dapter GitHub. Oh, look at this, Nintendo Switch optimized. So there is there are two different firmwares. So I'm going to install the Mister firmware. But I suppose if you wanted to dedicate one of them just to, I guess you could still use the Nintendo Switch one for Mister. But it reports as, it emulates a Nintendo Switch controller versus this. If you use the Mister optimized one, it looks like you could use all 3 ports. Well, 3? Oh, NES and SNES are shared. So you can use the N64, Genesis, and NES/SNES all at the same time on one adapter, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that. Okay, so we have to, I guess I'm going to go to the GitHub and figure out how to flash this thing. Okay, here's the BOM. If you wanted, you could self-source too if you wanted to. So you probably could make this even lower to build yourself if you wanted to make, source all the parts yourself. Okay, so I'm guessing there's a firmware. Yep. HID? Which one is the Mister? Mister Maps? I don't understand. I'm confused. Okay. Mister users, important info. For maximum compatibility, install the Mister controller map file found in the Mister Maps folder to your... Oh, so you put this in your Mister SD card. Ah. Okay, so we could do that as well. Interesting. Didn't know that. Somewhere is the flippin'... Okay, here it is. What's X input? Oh, okay. So there's a special one for the analog Pocket dock as well. So we want the one that's HID, which is for Mr./PC. That's what I want. Okay. Default HID firmware. Okay, so I think I need to install the Arduino IDE. Okay, yep. This doesn't really... All right, so I need the Arduino IDE, which I've got. Then I think I need to download this firmware file of this, at least this part here. Can I just do... I feel like I'm not in the right spot. Is there a releases? This looks like source code. Sorry, everyone. I think I should look this up. New version. Okay, so let's update Arduino IDE in the background. Yeah, see, you know, Arduino is one of the easier ones to figure out because usually it involves you installing the Arduino IDE, so which is really pretty easy to figure out. But some of the other projects that I've done, well, I don't know about nowadays, but back when I did the GBA HD, which is Zwenergy's Game Boy Advance consoleizer, there's a lot of weird flashing logistics to get that thing working. So, yeah, watch me struggle. All right, so let's just, I don't know, I guess we should download this whole thing. Individual, okay. Read the README file in the firmware. Oh, that's what I'm reading here, though. See, it doesn't really say explicitly how to update it, how to install it. So this is select, what is this? Select Arduino AVR boards from the boards list. Okay, so I know what this means, but I don't think a new person might know what that means. There's no real mention. I mean, I'm just nitpicking. Really, I'm not. You know, it is what it is. But can I close these? Yeah. Can I close this? Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have explicit instructions about how to do this. Maybe that's on purpose, maybe just by accident, but so we're just waiting for this to install. I should download the files, not the README. I'm just gonna download the whole repository. Some point in my life, I'll get more organized about how I... Right now, my computer life is very disorganized because I just download things and extract them. Sometimes I make separate folders for things, but sometimes I don't. And sometimes it'll be years before I'm gonna start organizing files in this way, and I'll have a scheme, and then I'll forget about it almost instantly and never go back to it. So I just have these small folders with little projects all around my computer. Yeah. Okay, so we dig in here. We want to go into firmware HID. Okay, I think we just want to run this script or open this script with the Arduino IDE. That should automatically load it in the Arduino IDE. Then it'll just be a matter of plugging it in and choosing it in the IDE. We need the whole folder. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I figured it would. So yeah, these DLLs or whatever scripts are needed. But yeah, I think just a couple lines download the Arduino IDE, even on this top part, because I think the only way that you can install anything is with the, well, no, that's not there's probably other ways. Like it depends on what language you write in. Like the Arduino IDE works with Python, I think. But I think if you do C, you can build and deploy stuff differently than through the Arduino IDE. I know it's kind of what is happening? Why does this look a lot different? This looks a lot different than what I'm used to. Stuff's on the side now. Oh, you guys can't see. How do I reset? I don't want to crop anymore. No crop. Okay. Sorry, guys. What you guys need to see. Oh, gosh. Okay, there we go. Okay. So now we're in the IDE. I think all we've got to do is just open this .ino. Let's see what happens if you double click it. Okay. I'm gonna guess this square boy. I don't know if this is the old one, this is the new one. I didn't know they made such a significant change, but okay. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, so it did load everything. Okay, so we can close the other window. Usually when you open like a project file or something in Arduino, it will open a new version of the Arduino. Like each project that you're working on is in its own window, I guess, I think. Okay, so good. Step one finished. I don't think there's anything we need to configure here. Yeah, it doesn't. Nothing sticks out at me as I need to configure anything. Oh, it's got pinouts for stuff. That's kind of cool. Okay. So now we've got to select the board. So this is the USB port, I guess, that I'm using is this Arduino Micro. Now we've got to select under, or was it in the files? Didn't it tell us in the files that we had to do something? Here. Okay, yep. So select Arduino AVR boards, Arduino Leonardo. Ooh, I don't know why, but AVR boards, Arduino Leonardo. I hope this is compatible with what I've got, the Arduino I've got. Okay, verify. So verify is a build step that will just pre-build, or like do a build, I think it also will check how much memory is free on the thing that you're trying to flash to, but it doesn't do anything yet. It doesn't move the sketch over. Sketch is what it's called. It's really a script, but all right, let's see what happens if I hit upload. Uploading. That's a good sign. Ah! Found programmer ID Caterin type S. Supports. What happened? Did it work? Or did it not work? Huh? Huh? Was I supposed to do something? Did I need it out of the... I wonder if I needed it out of the case. That'd be really funny. Hey, Belmont. Arduino IDE v2 was a big update. Wow, okay, so it's been a while since I've had Arduino updated. Wife came home, wanted to ask her how her day was. Wow, that's the most beautiful thing I've heard today. Okay. What do now? Why does it want us to use an Arduino Leonardo? Oh, it looks like it's finished, right? It says done uploading. I don't know why this is red yelly code. Usually this is red error code. But it looks like it was fine. It flashed fine. So I guess there's only one thing to do about that, and that is to test. Now I was using my triple controller earlier. We'll see how easy it is to set up this new thing. I need to snag a USB-C cable. So now you can get some, you probably can get some short USB cables. Excuse me, if you wanted to have these like real, like you could probably get a foot long USB-C cable and just have nice organized, excuse me, 4 adapters if you want to have like 2 of them or something, which is what I got 2 of them. All right, so I'm gonna plug this in to the Mister, which is way the heck over here. Okay, now I can try it. I'm gonna switch to that. What do we need to do now? Take this. Gotta get my remote. Where's this guy? Turn this on. Where's the SNES controller thing? I just had it. Oh, was I using it? Yeah, I was. Yeah, okay. All right, so I've got, this is the SN30, the SN30 2.4 gigahertz with its matching dongle. Actually, if you know what the dongle looks like, the dongle is normally gray, the shell of it, but for some reason there was a defect in all these SN30 2.4 dongle things where the shells they'll split. I've seen a couple of other people that have had the same issue where it will split along the middle. So I designed on printables a replacement cover if you want to replace your SN30. I don't know. I was just having fun and learning how to do Fusion 360. So let's plug this in. Ooh, it's got a blinky light. Let's turn on the controller. We get signal. All right, now let's check on how we do this now. That's plugged into this. I need that. So I need 2. Hello, 2. Maybe the batteries are dead in this thing. Okay, so if I do 2. Okay, got Mister. Let's see if is it going to detect it right away. Oh, look at that. I think it's because it's already been set up when I did the triple controller. Now, it does say that we should copy over those mapping files, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't need to right now. But I guess I don't. So my Mister now is connected with an Ethernet cable. I think there's a way I could turn an FTP server on and then just be able to copy files directly to the Mister. So you should probably do the Mister mapping file. If you're going to use this in your Mister, if you go back to the documentation, so that was it. That's all the flashing was opening the script, and then in the top here it says after you choose the COM port in the menu here somewhere, then you need to choose Arduino Leonardo and then hit upload, and that was all we did for the firmware. I didn't customize it or anything, so that was pretty simple, straightforward. Well, straightforward for me because I've done this before, but I wish there was a couple more steps listed here in the installation instructions for the 4dapter firmware. So yeah, but yeah, there's this controller button mapping. I think it's like pre-made manual mapping file. So I think you can copy somewhere. There's mapping file stuff. Oh, in Mister Maps. And you'd go to latest. And then you copy these over. So there's some instructions here that you could follow. I'm not going to do that right now. But, well, I don't know. Should I? Should we do it? We've got about 20 minutes let me know. I could start playing Mr. So I can do this, but then I've got to do this. Yeah, the only problem, so I have one problem, one concern with the, not concern. The one problem I have with the Mr. add-ons, it's behind my laptop here. The one problem I have with the aluminum Mr. add-ons case is the SD card slot. It kind of is difficult to get the SD card in and out. Like once you get it in, you probably wouldn't be able to put it in with your fingers. You would have to use some kind of like a toothpick or something to get it in, and the same thing to get it out. So I just wish that it was a little bit easier to get the SD card in and out. But that's really my only gripe about it. Otherwise, it's been fine. Test, please. I'm working on it, Obi-Wan. Got somewhere to be, my dude? Okay. Now we can go bonk. And then... bonk. Oh, no! Upside down. Let us flip it. Okay. Let me get some audio. You guys hear any... Uh-oh. Let's get into the core first. Huh? Start? Oh, okay. So the button is not mapped. Okay. So let's go... oh, man. The B button's not mapped. What am I going to need? I'm going to need... well, let's do the Mr. Map thing then. I don't know. Last time I did the triple adapter... well, the only buttons that are mapped are the up and down button, or the directional buttons. All the other buttons are not. This is my one gripe about Mr. in general, is while on one hand, yes, it does allow you to use, I'm going to use my PS5 controller. It does allow you to use sort of any USB controller, or just any kind of controller, because you could use something like JAMA. If you got like an arcade cabinet, you could use JAMA to connect just buttons and things. I guess you could do that with any controller connector if you cut a controller open. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna rant while I. So I just plugged that in and I need my PS5 controller. I think the combo to get Bluetooth pairing enabled is what? PlayStation and the share button. And then it should start flashing. Yeah. So if you hold the share button, this will start to blink. And then, oh man, I don't even think, how do I pair this thing? I forgot that that's not going to work. Well, this doesn't really get me anything, does it? I need a keyboard, don't I? All right. Keyboard. That's one thing I don't like about the Mr. is if you're mapping for your controller that you're using. Well, actually, initially when you first start using Mr., it's not going to have mappings for your controllers that you plug in. You just have to go to a menu, but you need a keyboard, which means I have to find a freaking keyboard right now. You know what? I've got one. I just need a, I'll use my other keyboard. Anybody who's a mechanical keyboard fan, the keyboard itself is nothing. This is a KBD Fans KBD 65, which is fine. I took the brass weight out because every time you typed, it made a pinging the plate itself. So I took the plate out, but it's a 65% keyboard, and this is GMK Modern Dolce, or Dolce, whatever keys. I also have a Glorious Pro, whatever their mechanical keyboard, which is a 75% keyboard, and dual shot GMK, which is the PlayStation colorway. Okay, I need a USB cable. Where was the one I was just using? Oh, that's plugged into the... See how annoying this is now? I need 2 USB cables. I need to find another USB cable. I was not prepared, guys. We'll get there, Obi-Wan. I'm sorry. Okay. And Nintendo Switch Online controller cable for the win. Bluetooth keyboard. Oh yeah, I do need a. I just need to get like a dedicated keyboard for my Mister. That would be the best. Okay. Plug the keyboard in. Okay, now I have to really learn how to do this. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, we're here now. Great. Okay, so this is what you would have to do if you had no controllers configured on your Mister the first time. I think, at least. I mean, it's been a while since I've known about. I don't know. I'm not a Mister expert, so if I say something stupid, feel free to correct me. So we need to escape out to the main screen, which is this, and then we could do what? Define joystick buttons, and then where's my Super Nintendo controller? So then I think the thing should be plugged in. So like right now I've got I have the 4dapter plugged in, Super Nintendo controller plugged into that. So now it should be looking for the Super Nintendo controller. So we press right, down, tilt right. Oh, so this is where you need the keyboard, because you need to say, if I don't have it, there's no sticks on this controller. So I just hit space bar. Press right, left, down, up, A, B, X, Y, left, right, select, start. There's no mouse. Menu. Okay, so there's a spot in the 4dapter where they have recommended mappings, or recommended escape. See, this is where you wouldn't get into trouble if you use the Mister mapping file. All right, so you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to do this quick test for Obi-Wan. We're going to boot up in a Super Nintendo game. It should work fine. I won't be able to test N64 because I don't have the N64 core Obi-Wan. And I have pretty high confidence, although I guess I can go through all three of the other controllers to make sure that they work. But yeah, I can let you know on Twitter if something doesn't work, but I'm confident that this is going to work. But I would be interested to see if the Mister mapping files helps me in like a situation like this where I don't want to have to map every console. Okay, so it says Mr. Home Menu Suggestions, Super Nintendo, select and down. Okay. Press menu, okay. A? I don't know. B, back. Space. Okay, great. Okay, so now things are working. So now if I go into Super Nintendo, that boots the Super Nintendo core. And then we need to load a game. Donkey Kong Country. Okay, I'm gonna sit and we can play. Oh gosh, my speakers. Okay, so I hope this is not too loud and it's probably blasting. Oh no, it's not. Okay, wait a minute. I need to change this to that. Do I have a gaming? Oh gosh, what is happening? I want to not have the Evermedia. This is going to be full screen. Yeah, like a mini keyboard. Yeah, something dedicated to it. To the Mister. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. And got my All right, let's check on the audio situation. So the headphones are on. Did something happen with the line in? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to. Gotta adjust the setting. Okay. Hello? I don't. Oh, this is not going through that. What happens if I do this? Can you guys hear the game now? I'm assuming you guys can hear the game, but I can't hear the game. If I do this and I set it to monitor and output. I don't know why it's not working. Well, anyways, the controller works. I don't know why the audio... audio's not working. That's weird. Problems and yes, it's loud. I'm sorry. I think did I turn it down enough? All right. Hopefully that's probably too low, but yeah, I don't know. Because I really need to invest in an HDMI matrix switch because I want separate HDMI cables for any consoles that I have connected over there or my camera. So they need to be separate. I want separate HDMI cables coming back to my computer so I can have them on 2 different capture cards. But right now, what they used to do is they used to go over the same one, so I couldn't. Yeah, it's complicated. So I'll work on that. I'm sorry. I don't know. So now I can't. I don't hear anything. I hear any game music, which is weird because I have it set to monitor and output, which it should be monitoring and outputting. Oh, unless the default sound output is my microphone. No. Maybe that's why I couldn't hear anything. All right, got it. Now I think OBS, so tools, I don't know, file, settings. What's my output? My audio output. No. Audio. Oh my gosh. Default monitoring device, that. Ah, hey. Hey. It's working now. All right. So you guys probably like this guy's cringe. Okay, we got it. But now I can play on this screen. Yeah. Okay. We'll play a little bit of this. And then I want to test out the script. So like a minute. Oh no, why is that not working? Oh, why is this off? This last like 10 minutes has been, why isn't this working? Why doesn't that work? Why doesn't this work? Okay, this is not behaving well. Well, I'm just gonna play in the OBS preview window then. YOLO. Yes, this big screen I've got here to play off of, and the latency playing from the OBS preview window. This is a high quality test of this. I guess why can't I just play on that screen? So what I would like to do is I would like to be able to play on the other side on my OLED and have a camera on that side so I could sit over there. That's what I would like to do. But today is not that day. Oops. There we go. Ah. So that wasn't bad. I mean, less than 2 hours to assemble one, flash the firmware, and then just get it working in Mister. So, granted, that's just the Super Nintendo one. I did have, I guess it's worth mentioning that when I did the triple controller, I found out that the NES controller connector was kind of loose, so it wasn't making good connection with the NES controllers. So what I had to do was bend some of the pins inside, kind of so that they weren't perfectly lined up, so that they would make better contact with all the different ports, and that fixed it. So. Okay, after this, I think we can do probably could do Genesis. No, I don't want to do this right now. See, what I would like is to have a quick way that I could do latency tests for stuff like this, right? It's based off of Damon Byte, which I think is a commonly known good solution, good wireless or good controller to USB conversion solution. So on that point, I could say it's decent, but like I don't really know. Hey, is this better or worse than using I don't know, SNES? Well, obviously it's not as good as SNES because any wired or wireless controller is going to have latency. Or even the Damon Byte is going to have some latency. But SNES, I think, is different because SNES is like a direct connection into the FPGA, so it gives you latency, or there's no latency with SNES. So, hey, Stinklord 420. All right, so let's test out what Genesis next. So I'm gonna do that. All right, so I got that done. Actually, hey, let's test. Well, I wonder what's gonna happen if I leave the Super Nintendo one in and I bust out my M30. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have what would pick up the? Is there a way for me to use this? The Neo Geo controller? No, I don't think I have a. I don't have a Blue Retro NES controller, do I? Or no, Genesis dongle. That's something I have to do. Is I need to get NES and Genesis. Oh, and Super Nintendo Blue Retro adapters. I don't know if anybody. Oh, I know. Yeah, there's the row. What is it called? Hold on. Okay, so I'm trying to connect this. Is this what was this for? Is this the wrong? This is the wrong thing. Then what is this then? This is this a Bluetooth one? Why did I get this for? This is not for the M30, is it? Because the M30 is 2.4, so it has its own little dongle, which is, oh, it's connected to this Genesis. Still haven't heard anything about audio support for the Mega Switch HD yet. Haven't heard anything in a little bit about that. So, all right. So if I plug that in, that paired up right away, and it doesn't work with the Super Nintendo mapping that we already had. So that means you need to go back into the. How do you pull up the menu? What's the default key binding in? Well, we know what it is in this, right? Select and down. Okay. So let's go back to here and we can do. Actually, let's get out of here. How do I exit core? Reset? Is that what I want? No, core. Let's go to Genesis. Okay, so this dongle, but I don't know what I bought this with. What did I buy that comes with this dongle? I don't know. This probably would work with that Super Nintendo, or this the Neo Geo controller. I'm curious if this would work with Neo Geo. Okay, so now we're in the Genesis core. Now if we go to define Genesis buttons and click A, now we could do this. There is no mode button. Where is the mode button located on a normal Genesis? Oh, wait, it's the trigger, isn't it? Yeah, it's the right trigger. Okay. Huh. It doesn't allow me to use the right trigger? I don't know, minus button? Okay, fine. X, Y, Z. No alternate buttons. Okay, cool. Okay, now we need to go to load. All right, let's try that. I like the chat plugin that I have has literally zero. You can't see the text at all. It's so dark. Such a fail. Yeah, nice. Works well. I guess NES is the last one that I can test, but NES and Super Nintendo share. Let's just do it for ha-has, but it shares the mapping with Super Nintendo. But I'm kind of curious if this thing will work with the NES controller, or I keep saying NES, but I mean Neo Geo. Okay, so if I go, I didn't set up a button mapping for this. Oh, hey, that worked. Okay. So what if I go, I'm gonna go back to core, hit A, I'm gonna go to Neo Geo. I don't know if I have any Neo Geo ROMs actually, but we shall see. Okay. So now if I swap the N30 or the M30 connector for this thing, then if I hold the sync on this, and the sync on that, or is this not charged, I bet? My kingdom for charged controller. Well, didn't think about that. What happened to the mister? Oh, here it is. Well, that's not how it works. What?
I'm going to bed.
Okay. Good night.
Don't get to wash your, do you hear the company?
Yeah. That's probably... Oh, I forgot I had a little controller thing here. So if I do this, I want to plug this into power. I want to plug this. My screen is like freaking out, isn't it? What is going on with my TV? Just trying to figure out how to pair. Why does this keep freaking out? Okay. Oh, that's not plugged in anymore. Great. Well, I don't know. I'm going to skip this. This doesn't look like it's connecting to that dongle. So, yeah, forget that for now. Sorry. I wanted to test that because that'd be a cool way to use that controller with a Mister. All right, the last controller I have to test is just the NES. And I have the N30 that I can test with that. So, maybe I need to unplug the Super Nintendo one. Okay. It's not mapped. I do have to say the aluminum case gets really hot, the aluminum Mister case, but I'm not like, I don't think it's not getting damaged or anything. It's just, okay, now what? Why does this not work? Oh, here we go. Okay, let's go to console NES. Hey, thanks Bartleby for the gifted member. I don't have that. I don't have the dual RAM. I can't test. I want to test the N64 part of this, but I don't have the Mister core or the stuff to do the N64 core. All right, I just want to do this one last thing, and then I'll answer some more questions. Okay, so right now, it doesn't work. This might be the same problem that I had on the triple controller, where not all of those connectors, you can actually kind of feel it too. I mean, I know this is not, I'm way over here, and you can't really tell, but there's almost no resistance to me putting this in. So I think what I had to do with let me get my tweezers. You just have to move the pins over like a little bit, like bend them a little bit so they make just better contact. So I'm not going to bust out the whole camera thing to show you, but just a little bit in each one, just so that they're not perfectly. I mean, I guess that does add some, like you may, I don't know, I guess you just have to be more careful when you plug things in, but that's a lot better. Like the fit is better, you know what I mean? It's not as loose is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Oh, so now left, down, up. Let me restart. Yeah, okay. So now after doing that, so that's pretty much mandatory for the NES port. You have to mess with the pins. You have to kind of use a tweezer, or I just used a Phillips screwdriver just to kind of move the pins up in a corner, like one direction. And then I did all of them that way a little bit, and now it's making good connection. Did you connect it to a dedicated USB or the regular USB? So I have the aluminum case, which has the USB port below it. So I plugged it into that on the side. I plugged it in on the side one, or on this side here. Yeah. Oh, what is this game? What did I stumble into? Oh, this isn't the game that I thought it was. I thought this was cool. What was that game called? Cool Spot or something? The 7-Up guy? This is just like checkers or Go or something. Whoa, look at him. He's doing it. Now what? What are you doing up there, guy? Oh. What? Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to play on my OLED. I don't know how to play this game. Okay, anyway, so I think that's good. NES works after bending the pins. The only thing I haven't verified is the N64 one. I didn't do the Mr. Mapping files, which I probably should do, and I will do that. I'll copy those over to the SD. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll work on, I would like to get the N64 core. So I need to get the dual RAM or whatever else I need to get my aluminum mister up and running. Although I've been kind of holding out for Mr. Express, which is supposed to be Mr. Add-ons' new Mr. case. Or, Mr. Multi-System looks really cool. So there's a lot of things that I could do instead. But I don't know what the compatibility with those and dual RAM and things. Oh, my cat's here. So, again, I'll mention the one last, I don't mean to spam this, but, it's I just set up channel memberships, and I guess the goal, and I can maybe I'll try to figure out how to do those cool goal things that people have. If we get to 30 channel memberships, YouTube says that they will give me a $500 bonus or something. So I got $500 for signing up, which I haven't seen yet. So I don't know. I hope that is going to happen because I was kind of counting on it. Not like that was the thing that made me enable memberships, but I've wanted to do it, and yeah. So that's kind of like a bonus thing. If I get to 30 before November 15th, then I get $500. And things that I would like to get that $1,000 would be good for is probably a scope, and or is the N64 dual RAM? Oh, is it single? Oh, if it's single, then I'll figure it out for next. I'll figure it out for another stream, and we can go through that. I didn't know that. So, yep, that's pretty much it. Next, so if you are interested in becoming a member, do it before November 15th, which is that deadline for that extra $500. So, next stream is going to be a good one. It's a sneak preview for you guys that are still here. Well, you guys probably already know what it is. We're going to start populating that Bucket Mouse Pocket Color PCB. That's also going to be a PCBWay sponsored stream, kind of. I'm not really going to do anything special. When I took on the PCBWay sponsorship, they told me there's two different sort of sponsored videos that I could make. The first one is the one that you guys are probably sick of, which is just adding that 30-second thing into like my Retro Modding News, where I just talk about what PCBWay is and does. But the other thing is, if I order a PCB through them and then show me building it and talking about the build, that's a different form of sponsorship. So I don't necessarily have to talk about in detail what PCBWay is, but they do send me PCBs that I want for free under a certain price, which all the projects that I've ever done so far have been under it. So do it, become a member. Yeah, get cringe emotes eventually. Well, I'm gonna work on them. I'm not a good artist, but I'm gonna try to make some sort of fun ones. I only get 4 in the beginning, so I don't know. I think I got a couple of ideas based off of stupid things that I've said. But yeah. All right. That is it. thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you on Sunday.